Back in early 2000s, extreme sports video games were at its peak. Titles like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater dominated the charts, and publishers were scrambling to capture that same magic. Among them was one unique competitor. Aggressive Inline. Released in 2002, this game became a cult classic, remembered for its innovation, but ultimately lost in the shadows of skateboarding and snowboards. Today, we're diving into the history of Aggressive Inline, the inline skating game that dared to be different. In the late 90s and early 2000s, extreme sports culture exploded. Skating, BMX, and snowboarding were everywhere. X Games were huge, and Tony Hawk turned video games into a cultural phenomenon. Seeing this success, Acclaim Entertainment partnered with Z-Axis, the studio behind Dave Mirra Freestyle BMX, to try something new, a game that focused entirely on inline skating. Aggressive Inline launched in May 2002 for PlayStation 2, GameCube, and Xbox, with a Game Boy Advance version following later. Z-Axis designed it to stand out from Tony Hawk's formula, while still appealing to the same audience. The game featured real professional inline skaters, giving it credibility in the sports community. One of the biggest innovations in Aggressive Inline was the open-ended level design. Instead of 2-minute timer like Tony Hawk, players had a juice meter that decreased as you skated. Performing tricks refilled it, meaning sessions could last indefinitely if you kept skating well. This created a flow that felt fresh and fast-paced. The game also included mass environments, theme parks, movie sets, construction sites, packed with goals, challenges, and hidden secrets. And with a trick system rivaling Tony Hawk's, plus unique mechanics like vaulting and pole swinging, Aggressive Inline pushed the genre forward. Critics praised Aggressive Inline as one of the best extreme sports outside of Tony Hawk. IGN called it a fresh take on the genre, and many reviewers highlighted how the lack of a strict timer encouraged exploration. Unfortunately, despite its critical success, the game didn't sell well. Inline skating was already declining in mainstream popularity by the early 2000s, and Acclaim's financial troubles meant the series never had a real chance to grow. A spiritual follow-up, Rolling, released in 2003 in Europe, but by then, the extreme sports game craze was fading. Today, Aggressive Inline is remembered as one of the boldest attempts to break away from Tony Hawk's shadow. Its trick system, level design, and stamina-based timer were ahead of its time, influencing how later sports games approached freedom and creativity. For fans of the era, it remains a hidden gem, an inline skating game that captured the culture of the early 2000s in one unforgettable package. So while Aggressive Inline may have never reached the heights of Tony Hawk's franchise, it carved out a unique spot in video game history. If you were one of the lucky players who picked it up back in 2002, you know how special it was. Did you play Aggressive Inline back in the day? Drop your memories in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe for more deep dives into gaming history. And that's going to do it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for the continued support. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.